according to Matthew. Jesus said to his disciples, "You will be hated by all because of my name, but the one who endures to the end will be saved. When they persecute you in one town, flee to the next. For truly I tell you, you will not have gone through all the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. A disciple is not above the teacher, nor a slave above the master. It is enough for the disciple to be like the teacher, and the slave like the master." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
من إنجيل ربنا يسوع المسيح القديس متى الذي بشر العالم بالحياة، فلنصغي إلى بشارة الحياة والخلاص لنفوسنا. قال الرب يسوع لتلاميذه: ها أنا أرسلكم كالخراف بين الذئاب، فكونوا حكماء كالحيات وودعاء كالحمام. احذروا الناس، فإنهم سيسلمونكم إلى المجالس، وفي مجامعهم يجلدونكم، وتساقون إلى الولاة والملوك من أجلي شهادة لهم وللأمم. وحين يسلمونكم لا تهتموا كيف أو بماذا تتكلمون، فإنكم ستعطون في تلك الساعة ما تتكلمون به، فلستم أنتم المتكلمين، بل روح أبيكم هو المتكلم فيكم. وسيسلم الأخ أخاه إلى الموت، والأب ابنه، ويتمرد الأولاد على والديهم ويقتلونهم، ويبغضكم جميع الناس من أجل اسمي، ومن يصبر إلى المنتهى يخلص. حقا والأمان لجميعكم.
بعيشين ثامها بدم روتون مسبب لك هاوت ونخت بحكاين إلا روحات باب وخون دين مش ميال بدم احكي وشوقا لا لا أمينا
The news that we have heard and seen, and in some cases personally witnessed, coming from many of the countries in the Middle East, leaves us in a state of disbelief. Thousands of people, including Shiites, Kurds, and many Christians, have and are being brutally driven from their homes. And hunger during this gate, women abducted and raped, people slaughtered, violence of every kind, destruction everywhere, destruction of homes, destruction of religious, historical. All of this greatly offends God and greatly offends humanity. You cannot bring hate in the name of God. The Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS, has wreaked havoc. And in short, so many were offered three choices: convert to Islam, pay, or die. Many Christians, of course, opted to leave everything behind and to flee their homeland. ISIS, as an expression of murderous hate within Islam, is unacceptable. And then when we look at the gospel reading, I suppose none of this should surprise us. Jesus warns his disciples, "You will be hated by all because of my name." You will be hated because of my name. The strong sense of the words of Jesus, of course, find a comparison in the Beatitudes. Earlier on in Matthew's Gospel in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." This beatitude for most of us is very perplexing and troublesome. Up until that point, all of the Beatitudes have focused on things like humility, meekness, right relationships, mercy, purity of heart, and peacemaking. And it looks like all of them are very positive qualities. But then Jesus concludes with a possibility of persecution for righteousness' sake. In a very real way, this arises as the conclusion to the other side. Because the forces that oppose God's way still hold great power in our world. Jesus is talking about being persecuted for doing what is right. But why should we be persecuted for doing what is right, for being righteous? The reality is we live in a broken and fallen world. And that if we demonstrate genuine righteousness, we are pushing against that brokenness and that fragmentation. And Jesus points out they did this to the prophets. They did it to me. They're going to do it to you. All of us will know, in some form or other, some element of persecution. But part of the blessing is somewhat ironic because the act of persecution of Christians, for a right reason, indicates that the powers of darkness believe that we are succeeding in furthering the kingdom of God. They see us as a threat. They see us as a problem. And they are intent upon solving that problem, even if it means committing murder and giving vent to the fullness of hatred. On Saturday, in the Liturgy of the Hours that many of us pray, there was a brief excerpt from St. Rose of Lima,